This course is brought to you by AppyPie as part of our Academy series.
In this video, we're going to go over 10 unique tips of increasing good reviews. And reviews are like gold because they make you rank higher. When you rank higher, you get more downloads, you make more money. All the things you actually want happen if you get reviews. So we'll go over it. First of all, you want to collect feedback. Just like regular users, maybe your beta users who give you feedback, but don't just collect feedback because everyone collects feedback. But those people are super engaged. Ask them to leave reviews as well. A lot of app developers totally neglect getting those people to leave the reviews, and those are sources of some of the earliest, very engaged reviews. Next is people who do leave you reviews. You can leave them nice comments to re-engage them, to keep them sticking with your app. But people who leave bad reviews, there are professional ways you can be nice to them and maybe sometimes explain to them that they misunderstood the app or you fixed the problem that they were having. So you can reverse bad reviews and turn them into people who love you, who see that you care about the app and their experience. And you can turn some of those 1 stars into 5 stars. So some of your haters are fantastic to turn into the lovers, right? Well, not really lovers, but like likers, I guess. One really advanced thing you can do, and advanced in terms of effectiveness, is create your own audience or fans. For example, let's say you create a Facebook group and you do every once in a while like a Facebook Live where you talk to your users. What is that going to do? No matter what your app is, a lot of those people are going to really engage with you and appreciate that you do that, and they're going to leave nice reviews, especially since you can ask people, hey, it's important to me. If you can, take a second, please add a review. You don't have to ask for nice reviews, but when you ask people who are already your fans and who are in your group or whatever, followers, they're naturally going to leave you better reviews because they already like your work. This is not an objective group. This is a subjective group that leans to the side of liking you. So they are much more likely, on average, they'll leave you nicer reviews. So facilitating your own audience and maybe a Facebook group that's truly engaged, that's key, and that's long-term key, because those sorts of groups, as long as you foster them, they only grow and they're going to get you more and more and more and more reviews. You can also, of course, ask for reviews of users who are currently using your app. Many app developers just randomly give a pop-up asking for a review. That's kind of annoying. And also, you don't know whether the person likes your app or not. If you wait until the person gets to a place in the app where you know like they're super engaged and only ask for a review then your average score of the reviews will be much higher. So in my case, I have tutorials. So like really useful parts of the app, business tutorials. When people get to the bottom of them, they're text and video. So when people get to the bottom of the text tutorials, it's much more likely that they are enjoying the app because they actually took the time to read and they got to the end. So at the end of the tutorial, I ask for a review. People who didn't like it, they didn't get to the bottom of the review. So that way I'm able to know where the super users are, where are the subjective people who actually like my app more, and I ask only then. A lot of people ask me, should I buy reviews? And how do I ask for reviews? So this is sort of like 2-in-1. Back in the day, a lot of people were buying reviews. I actually never did that because I didn't need to do it because my app used to get really good reviews naturally because I used all the other strategies in this video. But a lot of people used it. A lot of multi-million, multi-billion-dollar apps totally did it, and they got thousands and thousands of reviews and it jumped over their competitors and won. Now the app stores have become sophisticated enough that it's pretty easy for them to detect paid reviews, because you can, if it's some automated script that is leaving reviews, they can kind of detect that. If it's a person who's leaving reviews in exchange for money, they can detect that, because guess what? That same person did that to 100 other apps and they can tell a pattern. It's pretty easy for them to tell that, and it's risky for you because you never know when they decide to kick your app out of the app store in case they decide to penalize that. So that's very tricky. But you can always ask. When I care about reviews, I ask all the time. Definitely your friends, definitely your family. Of course, ask them to use it first, but ask and remind and remind and remind and remind Because if you've tried asking for reviews, you know that very few people leave reviews from the first time asked, and very few app developers remind and remind and remind. So I'm super annoying, politely annoying, but I'm annoying enough that I keep asking, and anybody you meet regularly in life, when they ask you, what do you do? Hey, you tell them I'm working on this app. You start talking about the app, and you kind of hint at like, hey, it would be nice if you left a review. If they're cool about it, definitely don't let them leave until they downloaded your app and left a review. Very simple point, but has to be said. Fixing bugs, making your app truly great, and putting care into the quality of your app. You see, this theme stays throughout, because if it's a bad app, it's just going to be impossible to promote because everything's going to be worse. So always think of putting time into improving your app as actual marketing work, because whenever the app is better, you're going to get better reviews. And actually, that's the most efficient way to get better reviews, because as the app gets better, that's gonna help you get better reviews long term. So it's the most sustainable way to get better reviews. Now, another thing people do is give very proactive support. Maybe with that same idea of the Facebook group. Maybe definitely put your email or your Facebook group into the app somewhere, so that people can know if they have any problems, they can always reach out. If they have any questions, they can always reach out, and they'll be extra happy because they got extra support. Guess what happy people do? Leave better reviews. Now, another thing is you can enable chat in the app. In my app, I enabled people to ask questions, and then when I answered their questions, of course, I put extra effort into that, extra time. But when I answered their questions, they were happy. Guess what happy people do? Again, they leave better reviews. And the last tip is, let's say you have a competitor that has like 10,000 reviews. It seems really daunting. You don't have to get 10,000 reviews. Reviews from 3 years ago are not as influential for search engines. Just focus on your current acceleration. So it's not the total reviews, it's the acceleration of reviews. Of course, very often, the people who have bigger total reviews also have a faster rate of getting the reviews. So it might seem like it's the same thing, but if you consistently start getting more reviews than your competitors using all of these strategies and pushing the reviews, you will jump over the competitors, and you don't need to equate their number of total reviews. You can do it based on your review acceleration, and usually it's a 90-day rolling average. Sometimes search engines use a 30-day rolling average. Generally, your reviews over the last 90 days are the most important reviews.